Well, I am an admirer of Elisa's. Elisa has even worked for me, and the fact is that she is talented.
What's it called? Kermit and Friends?
Kermit and Friends.
Kermit. But if
Kermit,
you're saying
like
not
the
to
frog?
do,
Yeah,
wait.
I actually have watched a few hours of Kermit and Friends.
How many hours have you watched, Natalie?
Oh, no. Probably indulged in 8 hours.
Holy.
My wife and I watched Benji's ex-girlfriends or whatever's going on. We watched this crazy podcast, and I have to say, this is one of the probably in the top 5 things I think about right now.
She has a podcast, but she gets to come on the radio. It is craziness upon craziness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kermit and Friends. I'm Elisa. This is Fozzie, and Kermit is watching from heaven. I am so excited about the show today. It's going to be a great show. We have so many guests. Everybody head over to kermitandfriends.com. That's the main place that we're streaming from right now. Okay, so I put on the top of that page the link to the Kermit and Friends Discord server. So that way, if you're confused after the show, where do I find the wrap-up show? Where's Wheezy? Where's Bob? Where's all my favorite people? You can find it on the top of that page because people get lost and they don't know where to find us. And it gets very confusing for a lot of people because we're streaming from everywhere. I'd like to welcome my co-host Wheezy to the show. Welcome, Wheezy.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Wheezy, it's going to be great. We have Aunt Carol. We have Dr. Steve. Do you have any medical problems that you need answers to?
You know, I have a couple questions I would love to ask him, actually, about a couple conditions that I have. So that would be great. And
Really?
Yeah. And Aunt Carol, come on. I can't believe that you got Aunt Carol on here. It's amazing. She's so great.
Yeah, it's really nice to have family around, you know, someone that could take care of us, someone that's like a mother figure.
Absolutely.
You know, we need that because we get just so down. I was sad, very sad yesterday. I was walking home with Fozzie, and this guy was following me.
I saw that on your Twitter. I haven't talked to you about that, though.
Yeah, this guy was following me, and I went to the left, and then he followed me left. I went to the right, then he went right, and then I kept crossing a street, and people were watching. And a guy with a stroller started screaming, "Get inside, get inside." He was screaming at me.
Oh my gosh.
And that made it like even more scary that people were watching because there's so many crazy people around here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what would I have done? I mean, he was chasing me, and then I ran into my building and I got in. I was okay. But, you know, I was thinking, what should I do? Like, there's no way to walk outside right now and feel comfortable around here.
Yeah, that's insane. Was it in the middle of the day or was it at night?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the day, and there was plenty of people walking outside. It was sunny as can be. There was nothing, like, it wasn't dark. It wasn't like it was nobody on the street. There was tons of people walking and dogs.
That makes it scarier.
Yeah. And then on La Brea Avenue, there was a murder, and they never caught the guy. And, it just, LA is just worse than ever. So I don't know what to do. So I was looking up, like, what kind of weapon I should get, but I'm not even confident. Even if I had a weapon and I pulled out that weapon, like, when do you use it? Like, so the guy was running towards me. Should I have shot the guy then?
I mean, well, if he's running towards you, yes. But, you can get like the bear spray or even hornet spray.
Yeah.
And it shoots far. It will really, if you get it in their eyes, they can't do anything. I mean, that would be a good way to have something that you can't really hurt yourself with permanently, like if you're not used to a weapon. And I mean, it sucks to get to the point to where you think that now you have to have a weapon just to walk to and from wherever you were going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's scary. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Thank you. And then I had a very important Botox appointment last night. And I was thinking, if I leave my apartment again to go get Botox, I'll be risking my life for that.
For Botox.
Yeah, of course I did go. That was
of course.
important.
It's very important.
I did go. But it's like, I don't even want to leave my apartment anymore. And I don't want to go to work. It's worse in Hollywood where I work. So either way, it's dangerous. So I was just wondering, like, Aunt Carol, what would you do in that situation? If someone was following you down the street, like, what would you do?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, you're a very pretty girl. I think I didn't realize how pretty you are. Oh my God. And Carol's very impressed. But I carry a salami with me in my purse. This way, if I get hungry in the middle of the day, I want a little bite to eat. And then if he comes up behind me, bam, you just hit him over the head with salami. So, I mean, really, I think you're a pretty girl, but you should carry something in your purse. I don't know, salami, something else, but that might help you,
See, and Carol, I only dress up on Sunday. So usually I don't even look this good. I look way worse. And that was the scary part, is when I was walking down the street, I know I didn't look good. So I figured, this guy's not trying to hit on me. This guy's going for murder. He doesn't want to sleep with me. At this age, I feel like people are hitting on me less. They're wanting to sleep with me less. So I just assume murder right away.
Listen, I'll take anything I can get. Anyone who wants to come and stalk me, murder me, I'm available. You watch my new movie, Scream. I'm desperate. Listen, an old lady, I got needs. I got things I got to take care of. Someone wants to stalk me, I may not turn around and be so scared, if you know what I'm saying. So
you don't mind, like, when someone's coming after you, you're not scared at all?
Well, it depends. I mean, if they're cute, they're a nice Italian man, of course I'm not going to be scared unless he's from the mafia, because, if he's calling in a favor, you don't want to mess with those people. But, if he's cute, why not? I'm going to flirt with him. I'm going to say, what are you doing? You like Aunt Carol? What's going on? I think it's just you turn the smile upside down. You turn the frown upside down. You go from the frown to the smile. They want to see it. Boom. Next thing you know, they're in bed with you.
So you think that if someone is trying to murder you, like on the Los Angeles street, that you could turn them around and then start dating them?
Well, listen, I was just in Los Angeles. I was filming a TV show, and Carol's got big things going on. And
Really?
There was this man, he was following me. I wound up giving him my number. We've been chatting, we've been texting. I sent him a couple, sex, if that's what they call them. And things are going well. He just got out of prison, but I don't judge people. Listen, my Frank, you see, God rest him in heaven. He's over there in the picture. He wants me to be happy. So I meet a man, he's in prison, no big deal. We'll make it work. And Carol's a very flexible girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you don't mind dating. So you keep your standards pretty low.
I like to think of it as just being not picky, not necessarily low. But, like I said, Frank, I had the best with my Frank. So, after him, anything's gravy. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel kind of the same way nowadays. Last week on the show, I had this matchmaker, and she was convincing me to have a phone conversation with this guy. And he was a cute guy. I was so attracted to him in person. But then when we got on the phone, it went really bad. And I was thinking, man, this guy, his personality sucks. I don't want a guy like that. I want a guy that has an amazing personality. I want a guy, that is incredible and I'm amazed by. Don't you?
Well, let me ask you, what is your type, Elisa? What type of guys do you like? You like Italians?
One second. Yeah, I do like Italians. I like anybody. Wait, hold on. I'm getting a caller. 1 second, Carol. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Alexa, stop.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Elisa? Listen.
Yes, who is this?
Yes. Ham Hands Bill.
Oh, Ham Hands Bill. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, I want to tell you, first of all, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. And also, no, estoy en teléfono. I also want my advice is, estoy en teléfono, man. My advice is, you were asking, what can you carry in the moment or whatever? One thing I advise people, which some experts also advise, you should carry a pair of scissors, not too big, not too small. That's something you can just put your hand on your purse, on your pocket, whatever. You have if you have anywhere to go, you grab the scissors, have it on your hand, and you could stab the guy, whatever, on the face, on the neck,
So scissors.
whatever. Yes.
All right, I'll use scissors, Bill. I think that's a great idea. My friend Michelle carries a gun. Oh God, that really scares. I don't know if I don't think I'm that person. I don't even think I'm a scissors person. I'm not sure what I can do.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, because scissors are not considered a weapon, but they can be a weapon.
Right.
It's different. For example, if you carry a knife, and it's, for example, in New York, if it's over 3 inches, they can charge you with a misdemeanor.
Wow.
But scissors are something that you can use for common things like cutting stuff that you're doing or whatever. It's not considered a weapon, but you can use it as a weapon. But you can also, in the future, get yourself a gun. They can carry in your car, but it has to be a long gun. Long guns don't require a license. In order to get a handgun, you do require license. But, like I said, scissors are something that can be a weapon and protect you if you are alone.
Wow, hands, Bill. I didn't know you were such a weapon expert.
Thanks.
You're really good at everything. What do you think of Aunt Carol, by the way?
She's good. I haven't seen the movie, but I think I'm gonna have to watch it. I mean, she's interesting, and I enjoy funny movies, and interesting.
Absolutely, I do too. People are asking how you call in. I'm gonna put the number out because everybody's gonna ask a question to Dr. Steve. Ham Hands, are you familiar with Dr. Steve?
I think, has he been on your show before or no?
So Dr. Steve is a Tennessee-based, board-certified family practice physician. He made his radio debut in 2007. His show is called Weird Medicine, and it's now the longest-running show on the Opie radio channel on Sirius XM, channel 103. Bill, I know you like Sirius XM. Are you familiar with this show?
I heard of it, and I think I heard he's a very, very good doctor, and he has been helping people for many years, and it sounds like a good thing that you're going to have him on your show.
Yeah, it's such an honor, and everybody's going to get to ask him a question. I'm going to put my phone number out, so after I'm done interviewing Dr. Steve, everybody can ask like a health question or any question. It's very admirable that this guy, he hasn't burned any bridges because he still has his show. God bless him. And he, keeps going on, and people go to him for advice, and they go to him for help. And that's just a wonderful thing. It's very, godly what he does. So we have to really give him a lot of respect today, Bill. So please enjoy. And thanks so much for calling in Kermit and Friends, Bill. Love you.
I'm also glad you're feeling better. Love you too.
Love you. What a great guy. See, so you could call in like Bill. Like a lot of people right now are asking me questions backstage, right? They're very confused. Where do I watch? Where's the main place to watch us? KermitandFriends.com. How do I call in? You'll find out shortly. How do I get on screen? If you click on our Discord server, people will help you in there get on screen with our guests, and you get to meet everybody. And what this is a beautiful community where we help each other and we support each other. And it's just a lot of love here on Kermit and Friends. So everybody welcome our guest, Dr. Steve.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
it's so good to meet you finally.
Thank you. Really? It's nice to meet you. You were so nice. The way we met was so incredible. I had an injury. This is my injury I'm going to post here. Here it is. And I tweeted this disgusting picture. And I thought it'd be a possibility that I'd be kicked out of Twitter altogether for that picture. But instead, a blessing came to me in the form of you, Dr. Steve, and you gave me great medical advice.
Did I? I think I said I don't know what the hell that is, but
yeah. Well, it turns out it was okay. I thought it could be something really bad, but it wasn't. And you were nice enough to offer to come on Kermit and Friends. Sure. And since you said that, I've been watching you on all kinds of shows. I've been listening to you. I heard you actually a show of yours just dropped today called Who Are These Podcasts? And I just listened to that. So how did you get involved with Who Are These Podcasts? Because they're kind of like an interesting show. They're a different kind of show.
Yeah, they are. Well, before we start, you were talking about creepy guys. I just want to be on the record that I did not coerce you to have dinner with me before I appeared on your show. So
no, you didn't. You're such a class act, and we actually have none of those. So it's perfect that you're here.
That's hilarious. Well, who are these podcasts? Basically, is the continuance of the Opie and Anthony Jocktober, except they do it every week. And instead of doing radio shows, they make fun of podcasts. It's a roast show. I mean,
yeah.
The guy that runs it he's a very good-natured guy, and he just has that kind of sense of humor, and he likes just roasting people. And I honestly, Opie and Anthony, when they came on Sirius XM, kind of got me through a dark place back in 2005, 2006. So when Opie said, "Hey, I've got a couple of slots on Saturday night," I volunteered, said, "Hey, I want to give back. I could do a radio show where we take medical questions, and because their audience wasn't the healthiest. I mean, no audience is in this country." And I said I could tell crazy medical stories and stuff, and they immediately greenlit it, let me do it in Sirius Studios. And assuming, I think they let me do it because they figured it'd be a train wreck, and so they figured if it sucked, they could make fun of me and get some time out of it. But if it was good, they could take credit for it. Unfortunately, it wasn't as bad as everybody thought it was.
Well, it's lasted 12 years. You think they gave you the radio show solely to troll you?
Well, no, but listen, with O&A, that was always a possibility, because the first time I knew that I was sort of in the inner circle is when they shit on me for 45 minutes about my homemade wine that I sent to them. So, and I loved it. It was like, oh God, they actually like me because they're crapping on me for 45 minutes and saying the most horrendous things. But I think it's funny.
So you could handle that kind of thing, because you take any caller. When I was on your website, drsteve.com, you said on there that you don't screen callers. You don't have a call screener.
Right. That's right. Well,
so you'll take anyone.
Yeah. And initially we just went live and just took any calls. These days we're doing pre-recorded calls, but I'm totally fine with taking whatever. And if I don't know the answer, I just say I don't know, but I'll get back to them.
And before emailing Opie, did they know of you before that, or was it just like a random email?
I ran into Jim Norton on AOL Instant Messenger right after they first went on the air. And
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, on AOL. They used to hang out on there. And I just ran into him and we started talking. And he said, "Are you really a doctor?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I am." And he said, "Well, I've got this thing on my scrotum. Can we talk about that?" And the only reason I can say this is because the next day he went on the air and said, "Yeah, I was talking to this doctor from Tennessee about this lump on my scrotum." And Anthony said, "Yeah, because we all know all the best doctors are in Tennessee." And so it pissed me off, and so I called up. I said, "What's your fax number?" I immediately faxed them my curriculum vitae and said, "Take that, you assholes." So, and then from then on, I was sort of the de facto medical advisor for the show. So they'd call me and say, is it safe for E-Rock to do the cinnamon challenge? And I would say no, and they would do it anyway. It was that kind of relationship. And so
you had a good sense of humor, even from the beginning, even before any radio stardom. You were always like a funny doctor.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm an absurdist. I like absurd things. Yeah, and I've got a really weird, sense of humor. That's why I like Cardiff Electric, because his show is the most absurdist thing. It's not an absurd thing. It's an absurdist and sort of surreal thing. So I really like him. And I like.
Wow. So you're a Cardiff Electric fan?
I am. I mean,
what?
I am.
Wow.
He's I don't want to blow up his spot, but I think he's sort of Andy Kaufman. But
this guy, are you sure?
There he is.
Are you sure? Because he's here, and I'm trying to figure him out. But you're a big fan of this guy, Cardiff Electric. How does it feel that a huge radio star who's had the same show for 12 years, from Opie and Anthony, he likes you?
Thank you.
Unbelievable. That
There you
guy,
go.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it, but hopefully I'll get it soon. Sometimes
I don't
things
know.
don't come to me right away, and it takes me a while to understand things.
I think
But
the whole point of absurdism is that there isn't anything to get. But, Carl and his group have
Yeah.
that same sort of vibe
yeah,
that Opie and Anthony had. Getting back to your original question, sorry, I went all the way around the universe to get there. But
That's okay.
they kind of got me through the dark times in COVID too.
Oh, was that the dark time? What was the dark time that Opie and Anthony brought you through? What was
Oh,
going
it was
on then?
I've had a shit marriage and things were, just a lot of changes in my life. And I I was in a small town doing family medicine, and there's just a lot. I wasn't happy with myself, and they kind of got me through that. And that
Really?
community, I got on one of those message boards and started hanging out with people and stuff. And so you have these friends that's just like you do. You have these friends, and some of
Yes.
them you've never met, but they're friends. And it was a really lifted me out of that. And
Yeah, you need it. You need like connection.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would think that a doctor of like a family practice out of anything would be so fulfilled and not need that. But I always think it's losers that are on like, my Discord server and stuff. I always think that, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's people that are, maybe everybody needs this
looking
kind
for
of connection.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's everyone. It's people that are, from the highest, most well-regarded positions to other people, but so it's everyone. Why do you think there's so much missing from our lives that we seek that?
Well, okay. I think right now that's easy. I mean, we have this global pandemic going on.
But it was before the pandemic.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I myself have blamed a lot of things on the pandemic,
Right.
but way before
think
the
it's worse.
pandemic. Well, it shines a light on it, I think. But
Yeah.
way before the pandemic, I was lonely. Way before the pandemic, did I feel like no one understood me? Way before the pandemic, did I feel like I wasn't where I wanted to be? And
Right.
it feels actually good to hear that you, as a doctor, also felt that way, like something was
Right.
missing.
Yeah, I think that we as human beings have this idea that we are these sacks of meat that walk around separate from the universe. And the truth, I'm going to catch shit for this, but we are born out of this universe, which means that, we weren't just plopped here. We were born into the universe. We're born out of the universe. We are part of the universe. And it's hard for us to accept that. And once people do, it makes things easier. I think they're a little bit more serene, but in the meantime, we're always looking to make those connections. As some people make them on Tinder, and other people make
Right.
them in comedy communities, like I do. Because
Yeah.
I'm not
So-
exactly Tinder fodder.
So wait, are you single? I thought
No,
you were.
no,
Oh,
no,
you're not
that's what
single.
I mean.
Okay. Okay. So Opie and Anthony made you laugh,
Yes.
and that was what was missing.
There was a joy there was this goofy joyousness to the things that they did.
Yeah.
And and they did make me laugh. And then being part of that community where we were all laughing together. And I got the same thing out of Who Are These Podcasts?
Wow.
Oh
my gosh. You're blowing me away with this stuff because, I mean, Opie and Anthony is a huge show. Who Are These Podcasts? I mean, I guess you could find hope anywhere.
Sure. Well,
anywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, Who Are These Podcasts in the top, 1,000 podcasts on Patreon? I mean, there's tens of thousands on Patreon. So they have a pretty decent sized community, and their subreddit is very active, and
So
people on there are funny.
People?
I do. Sure.
Do you
Yeah.
talk to the people like their fans? Are you interacting with them?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
How?
Well, I'm a fan. I'm a
Unbelievable.
fan. So I'm just a fan like they are.
You are so humble.
I
I
know.
don't think I've ever met someone this humble, like on radio or in entertainment at all. I mean,
No, I have a shit self-image. That's what it is. It's not humility. It's
oh, you have bad self-esteem?
oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is unbelievable. So you guys, if you're watching this, it's not just, it's everyone. Everyone has
It
this.
is.
This is not just you. Let's take some questions.
Sure.
Andy, question for Dr. Steve.
Oh my
Really great
goodness.
guy.
Your fiance.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, my friend.
Wait, hi, Dr. Steve. So wait, what kind of doctor are you? I just tuned in.
Well, I'm a generalist, but my specialty is palliative medicine, which is another reason why I need something to make me happy.
Why? What is that? What is that, Dr. Steve?
Palliative medicine is, we deal with pain and symptom management in advanced illness like cancer pain, hospice, that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. Okay, so you're meeting a lot of people that are very sick.
Dying.
Yes. Some of them are dying. Yes.
It's like hospice, like you said, right?
Right. Yeah. About 10% of what I do is hospice.
Yeah. My dad, I almost said my dad. He is dead, but he did hospice when he got cancer, and we just took care of him in the living room.
Yeah. I mean, that's the great thing about hospice is they'll come to you.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want all this doctor crap trying to keep me alive. I know I'm going to die, so just let me die.
Yeah, and make you comfortable till you leave this world. And if I have a choice of going out of here suffering or not suffering, I'll take not suffering every time.
Yeah, morphine, liquid morphine, which after he died, I drank the rest of that shit.
Andy.
Okay.
Andy, I was listening to a podcast.
I can't recommend that, but I understand it.
So I was listening to a podcast that Andy was on yesterday. It's called like the Dopey Podcast, right, Andy? Yeah. And Andy said he said on that podcast that there was a mountain of fentanyl, and he didn't
story before.
No, I did not.
Yeah, tell him.
So Andy was in a bathroom.
No, you already said it wrong. So my friends brought a bag of cocaine to my house, dumped it out into a mountain, and I'm like, when I see cocaine, my eyes light up. I like to drink, do cocaine, and smoke some pot. I'm not doing really any of it right now, but like in general. But but this is like last year. But they laid that mountain of cocaine out. I pushed my two friends into the wall. I pushed them aside and said, watch how you do it, folks. And I just went down on it, snorted all of it. And what she said, it did turn into, it was fentanyl.
Oh my goodness.
I died. Within 30 seconds, I was telling a story, very elaborate. They said I had my hand up even. I was telling a story, and I just flopped over dead. No breathing, purple lips, cold, no heartbeat. Well, they pushed on my chest, and they gave me mouth to mouth. There was two of my friends were there. This, a guy that is young and cute, and this other guy that's just obese. And when I came to, I said, "Wait, so what happened?" And they said, "Well, we had to give you mouth to mouth," and all this. I'm like, "Wait, which one are you?"
Well, you're hoping it was the hot one.
It was the fat one. And I said, "You should have just let me die."
But this is very bad to be doing, right, Steve?
Yes, of course.
I didn't know. I didn't.
All right, Andy, just hold a second. So I want Andy to hear this. That's why I just clicked him off, because Dr. Steve will tell everyone how dangerous this fentanyl is for everyone, even Andy, everyone.
Yeah, fentanyl is dosed in microgram amounts, whereas, say, morphine is dosed in milligram amounts. So it is incredibly potent. There's millions of fatal doses in 2.2 pound brick. And the problem is, this is the issue I have with street drugs. So first off, if you are at risk of this happening, Andy, if you're ever going to do this again, which I would counsel you not to, but if you are, go get some Narcan. Narcan saves lives.
Should Andy have Narcan on tap?
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I tell people, I don't think you're going to. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Steve.
Yeah.
If my two friends weren't there when I literally did die, I just would still be dead.
Right.
We know. Go ahead, Steve. Tell Andy. Tell Andy.
Yeah. So, my issue with drugs bought off the street, for example, it wasn't too long ago, I got a prescription from my pharmacist. And inside that bottle, the pills looked weird. So I looked up the number. They weren't what I was prescribed. This might happen one time in 10,000. I don't know what the number is, where the either the robot at the pharmacy or the pharmacist puts the wrong pills in there. But there is this chain of possession from the manufacturer to the distributor to the pharmacy. Everybody's got to sign off. And even then, things happen. So if I can't 100% trust my pharmacist, although, that's for the pharmacists listening, they know what I'm saying. If I can't 100% trust that process will work 100% of the time, why would I trust something that I bought off the street from some dude?
Right. No, I would never trust. I can't believe when people say, "Oh, I trust that drug dealer." What?
Right.
Right.
And they may be, their intention may be good, but they don't know how many times what they're selling has been stepped on if they're not manufacturing it themselves, which they're not. So I tell people, listen, I don't think you're going to necessarily have an overdose, but I don't think you're going to have a wreck on the way home either, but you should still wear your seatbelt. Or I don't think you're going to choke, but your spouse should know the Heimlich maneuver. So every household in 2022 should have Narcan in it. And,
I agree.
If your next door neighbor is overdosing, you could save their life. That's a moral judgment you'll have to make depending on what kind of neighbor they are. But that's between you and your creator. But I still think having Narcan in the home is a great thing.
Absolutely. Okay, next question, Aunt Carol.
So, hi, doctor. I think you're very sexy. I know you're taken, but I mean, you're turning me on when you're talking about all these terms. You're talking about, these things and these fetishes.
Thank you, Aunt Carol.
Aunt Carol, she's a very careful woman. I go out. I got my vaccine thing. I got boosted. Yeah. I'm a horny lady. I'm a little older. So, I had an encounter with a man a couple weeks ago. I wasn't wearing my mask. Well, lo and behold, the next week I wound up with an infection, a rash down there. I was itching all over the place. What happened? Was I supposed to be wearing my mask when I did things? Did that what caused the rash down there? Or is it two totally separate things? I'm just freaking out because it's itching very badly.
Yeah, the mask that you're wearing over your face, obviously, well, not obviously, apparently will not protect you from STDs down below. No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's good to know. This is very good information.
Yeah, the dental dam, which ruins everything in my opinion, but it is a way to keep oral pathogens out of your nether regions.
I don't think anyone's used that in history. Has one been sold? Has
tried
one
it once,
dam?
and I was like, "This is."
Yeah, there's no way people are using that.
You just got to take your chances.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Just hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So now we have something very grotesque coming. Brain, tell Dr. Steve about your problem.
What a great introduction. Here we have somebody very grotesque coming.
Well, I was just being honest.
I know, it's okay.
I thought she meant your question was grotesque.
Well, my face, yeah. Can I just say that, to preface what's about to happen, can I just preface by saying this is quintessentially the best doctor you've had on the show. I don't even like doctors, but this is the coolest fucking cat. Come on, bro. You're so cool, dude.
Thanks,
I love this guy. I love his self-deprecation, his honesty. He's not afraid to be humble.
Yep, he's very humble.
Amazing dude. Like, this is a cool fucking dude. Anyway.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's great. So, I have a horrific inguinal hernia. It's huge. It's about the size of a grapefruit, and I could show it if you want to see how you assess it. Hang on.
I'm okay.
No penis brain. No penis. Just hernia. Okay.
All right. No penis. Yeah, I don't know how to switch the camera around, but I'll try. Hang on. See that? See how big that is?
I don't. Oh my God.
Is it reducible, brain? And by reducible, I mean
hernia.
Are you able to push that back in?
When I lay on my back, right, I can push it in, right?
Okay.
Wait, can you lay down? I couldn't really see it. Wait, could you see? I couldn't really tell.
No, I could tell.
Oh, you could tell?
Yeah.
Wait, could you show it like in a different way? Oh, that's it? Oh, wow. Wait, grab it with your hand.
It's.
There you go.
Oh my God.
That's a
Okay.
hernia, folks.
It certainly is.
That's
So-
an inguinal
Bad, right?
hernia, right, Doc?
Well,
How
yeah,
big?
I would have to poke on it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it certainly looks like it. And inguinal hernias are of two types. There's direct and indirect. And the direct hernias come straight through the abdominal wall. So, Elisa, a hernia is just anytime something goes through some tissues and it ends up in a place where it's not supposed to be. So you have hiatal
So that's
hernias.
my lower intestine. That's my lower intestine pushing through the lower abdomen muscle, right?
Right. It may be intestine. It probably is where that one is, as big as it is.
Yeah.
We had
It's
a
like
guy
right
once.
by my penis.
We had a guy once that had an indirect
Cheers.
hernia. Now, the indirect hernia goes through the canal where the vas deferens goes and ends up in the scrotum. And this guy was
Mine's kind of down in my scrotum.
Okay.
Mine's kind of in my scrotum, and it's like in both because it's so
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
It gets down into both.
Yeah. Well, this guy I was talking about was so obese, his stomach was so huge that it was actually herniating through, and it was actually his stomach. And every
Why
time
would he have this? He's not obese. He's just like a
No.
regular.
I'm just talking about this guy. It's an
Oh.
interesting
That-
story. Every time he drank coffee, his nuts would get hot. But anyway,
Oh,
that's a true story. But so that you have the direct hernias that go straight through the abdominal wall, and the indirect hernias that go through. Now, the reason I'm going to counsel you to get that checked and probably fixed is that right now it's not causing you any problem. It just looks weird, and if you're having intercourse,
it's a cosmetic thing. It looks.
if
women
you're having
don't
intercourse
like
with
it.
somebody,
They
you
don't
got
like
some
sucking
explaining to
it,
do.
You know.
Right? But
Yeah, I got a lot of explaining to do, Doc.
the reason
Just
you need to
telling
get it fixed is because the day that it becomes incarcerated, and that's when that piece of bowel twists. And once it's twisted and the the blood supply is cut off, you can't reduce it anymore because it starts swelling and it becomes a medical emergency.
Oh, so that could be an emergency. That could be that could actually hurt him. He doesn't.
It could become one. Yes.
If it ruptures, how long do I have to live if it ruptures and all the feces gets into my bloodstream?
Yeah, not long. And the thing is, for a hernia to have ruptured, it would have already been incarcerated for some time. You would have been in agony at that point.
I've had it about
sought
30
help before
years.
it ruptured.
30. I've had it about 30 years. I'm scared of doctors, to be honest. If you did my surgery, I would get it done.
Okay.
Do you do surgery? Do you do hernia surgery?
I don't do hernia surgery, but I have some people that I trust. If you want to come to Tennessee, I'll set it up for you.
All right.
For real.
See, if you could, like,
Wow,
I'm
that'd be
scared
great.
of doctors. I'm scared of hospitals. It's kind of a phobia, you know.
Yeah.
I'm scared of needles, and it's just one of those phobia things. And since it doesn't hurt, obviously, if I was in excruciating pain, right, I would rush to the hospital and I got to get this taken care of, right? But
there's a
'cause
difference
it's
between
cosmetic,
there's a difference between the outcome between an emergency surgery and an elective one, though. That's the only reason I'm recommending it, even though you've had it 30 years.
right. It's hard to do. It's kind of, at this point, it's elective, right? Because it's no pain. It's my life's not in danger at this point yet.
Right.
But yeah, so
I can imagine it would be
a
a self-esteem thing. Aren't you so insecure in case like someone sees that?
I've been with women intimately, right? And for some reason they tolerate it. I don't know why.
Wow.
I guess I'm lucky. I don't know. They don't mind it. I don't know. But yeah, it does decrease my confidence, obviously, right?
Yeah, because you can even see that. I mean, it's so big, you could see it through your pants.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So what you're saying, Dr. Steve, is he should definitely get that removed, like 100%, right?
It's a preventative measure.
Yeah.
Because if it goes bad, it's catastrophic. That's the thing.
Yeah. He should do that immediately. Okay, so you're gonna hook him up. Okay, next
at least get somebody to poke on it and see how broad based the opening is.
And I can't imagine any woman being cool with that.
Oh, I don't know. It didn't look that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look good. All right, next question. Charmin Smith.
Hello, Charmin.
Hi, Dr. Steve. I was really interested. Did you get Elisa's story at the beginning about being followed and needing
Yes.
advice? Surely you have spoken to many women and given them some advice on how to protect themselves. What advice do you give?
I think being aware of your surroundings at all times is good advice. Lisa obviously is aware of what was going on. She knew this guy was coming. I think it's a tough one. It's rough out there for everybody, but particularly for young women. I think it's harder to defend yourself against that stuff. And I do like the tiger claw. Have you seen the tiger claw? It looks like a hand exerciser, except when you squeeze it, these talons come out. And not only is it extremely painful when you scrape it against somebody's face, but it gathers DNA as well. And but I didn't hate Wheezy's idea of having the long distance pepper spray and those kinds of things. I mean, what do you think? You deal with this more than I do. It's
Yeah, I have a couple of things that I carry with me, right? Pepper spray, a taser, a fishing priest, I believe is what it's called, right? But it's a constant issue, and it's something women talk about all the time. And I try to engage men in the conversation.
Yep.
I had a similar situation this week, but it worked out much differently for me. I popped into a local business, and a man saw me go in the store, and he opened the door and he whistled at me, and then he closed the door. And everybody in the establishment got mad. And the manager of the business went out to the parking lot to speak with him. And it was daylight. People stepped up to help me in the daylight, and I'd never seen so many people step up to help a woman over a whistle.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it is.
I think that's a big deal, that we as a society need to step up and help people when they need help. And this whole concept of just watching something happen. I mean, I know the other side of it is you get involved and then you end up getting
hurt too, or murdered
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if we all do it and people are aware of it, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. We live in a society. This whole world is a little bit crazy right now, and I don't have a good answer. I think just being able to defend yourself is the best thing. I'm not a big fan of sort of these melee weapons. So the tiger claw thing is a last resort, because you don't want the person getting close enough to you to where you have to use it. But sometimes you don't have a choice.
Right.
So my ex used to walk around before the tiger claw. She would take her keys and put them, through her, and she would walk around like that when she went to her car, just in case. And even then, that was in the 70s. So this is not a new problem. It just seems like we're paying more attention to it now.
Yes, finally. Thank
But
goodness.
stay safe.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sherman, any sling questions?
Actually, I have some really complicated female health issues, and it's definitely outside the scope of your expertise, but we could talk about all of them.
Sure.
Right. So I have some strange female health issues. A lot of times we talk about the male health issues, but I have a pelvic organ prolapse, and I've had a couple of surgeries to repair it, but they have failed.
Yeah.
They have failed as a result of sexual assaults. And because of that, I'm not a good candidate for more surgeries.
Right.
Is it possible for you to help explain that? That's something that people have been confused about. They don't understand why I'm not a good candidate for another surgery.
Right. So you have uterine prolapse. Is that what's going on? Yeah.
Pelvic organ. Right.
So, and so is it visible from the outside?
It is not.
Question. Okay. It's not. So,
It is not.
so, for some people, uterine prolapse can be so severe that it actually protrudes out the introitus, or the opening of the vagina. And that's obviously, talk about self-esteem and issues, regarding, the female reproductive organs not being in the place where they're supposed to be. And it can be painful. Do you have pain with it?
I have actually been going through some physical therapy recently.
Okay.
So I've been enjoying learning how to use those muscles for the first
Yes.
time, because one of the things that I've learned in the last few weeks is that most women, 50 to 80% of women, are doing their Kegels incorrectly. And so there have been some examples and some training to learn how to do my Kegels properly so that I'm not actually causing more problems for myself.
Did they use manometry on you? That's where they put a balloon in there and have you squeeze and you watch.
I had all those very invasive tests with all the hoses and balloons.
Yep.
Yeah, all of that. It's been, and I've been dealing with this issue for over 10 years. And this is the first time anybody's ever done these tests or done this type of physical therapy on me.
Right.
And it's really a huge help just to learn the simple little tricks that women should be doing so that they can properly relieve themselves.
Yep. And when it comes to reproductive health, hell, nobody's talking about anything, because I would venture that the men who are listening to this, none of them, or very vanishingly small number of them, were told that testicular cancer is a young man's disease and that they need to examine their own testicles. I know I wasn't taught that. That was the slug line at the end of my show is check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses and get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. I say it every week because all of those things are true. Every woman is taught to do self-breast exams, not taught so much about reproductive health. And I know it wasn't until our bodies ourselves when women started even looking at their, at their labia and stuff with a mirror. So these things sort of below the belt stuff is always sort of shuffled under the rug. And I don't like that. It's one of the reasons I started doing my show. Honestly, most of my listeners are men. And so we do a lot of men's health, but
so how do you do that? So how do you explain to these men how to do the exam? Because
we do it every October.
I would say that none of the men here do a self-testicular exam. Let's ask Andy. Andy, do you do that?
Well, first I want to point out that Dr. Steve said they do.
I know. I heard myself say
that. You said do, doctor.
I did. I just didn't draw attention to it.
Andy's so good at that.
I was over here. If you want to count checking my balls when I masturbate, yes, I do that.
That's not it, right, doctor?
No, it's not the same thing. But so the very first show we ever did, October 13th of 2007. We did an on-the-air self-testicular exam. And I just walked people through it. You isolate one testicle and make sort of a C-clamp, and then you want to feel behind the testicle at the upper pole. You'll feel sort of the squishy thing.
Are you trying to turn me on, Dr.
Here, I got the sexy music here.
Andy, put that Twizzler down and start.
So you take your hands and you make a C-clamp and you feel the upper pole of the testicle, and you'll feel a squishy thing that feels like you're being kicked in the balls. And that's actually your epididymis, where sperm cells, anyway, so that's kind of what we do.
Were you listening, Andy? Did you do it?
Yeah. What would be wrong if something was wrong? You'd have pain.
So you're feeling, and most of the time, not pain. That's the thing. The first thing people will feel if they have testicular cancer is a lump. And you're looking for, first you got to know the normal anatomy. That's why I walk them through feeling the epididymis, which is in the back side on the upper pole. And you can feel the vas deferens, which they cut when they do a vasectomy. And then you want to feel the testicle through the scrotum, and it should be smooth and yeah, go ahead.
My biology teacher in high school, Mr. Youngsma, I just remember his name, Mr. Youngsma. It's
an important detail.
No, I just remember it.
Might be watching.
40 years ago. But he said, or whatever, 30. He said, the difference between the male and female biology? And then we go, what? He said, Well, there's a vast difference.
Andy. He's such a silly goose. Aunt Carol, if you felt a lump on your date, what would you do?
I'm sorry, I'm checking out my labia. Ever since he said I could do that, I never realized I could look at it. But listen, if I was on a date with that, I would probably I get that thing out of here. I don't want to do anything with anyone that's not. And Carol is a woman. She says yes to certain things she says no to, right, doctor? You're still turning me on when using these terms like prolapse and these things you're talking about. I mean, it's getting me a little, down there.
Mission accomplished.
Listen, doctor, listen, if you have a brother or anything, please hook me up, Elisa. And Carol's desperate. She's that Andy guy too. He was very cute too. I don't know if he's got a brother. I don't know what his deal is, but he's talking about penises and cocaine and coming. It's interesting. I find it very interesting. Also, the guy with the hernia, Brian, I'm available as well if he wants. I know he said girls don't mind it. I don't mind it. Aunt Carol likes a good hernia. I think it's very manly. It shows that you got things going on down there. So God bless.
Yeah, he's definitely got it going on down there.
There's your answer.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, Wheezy. Health question from Wheezy, my co-host.
Well, at first, let me say, Dr. Steve, you are amazing. We all love you. I've never heard Brain say anything nice about anybody. And here he
I
is
was waiting for the
complimenting
butt.
you. Yeah, you're amazing. Mine's nothing compared to these other questions, but I take Flonase for my allergies all the time.
Yes.
The more I research it and the longer I take it, I realize it's probably bad to continue to take it forever. And I've tried like honey, like bee pollen.
Yeah.
Local. It doesn't seem to work. Is that a myth with the bee pollen?
I think it is. I researched that a long time ago for the show. And the hypothesis was if you get local honey, that the bees are bringing the pollen to the hive, and then it somehow inoculates you. And the thing is that you're not really allergic to flowers, and that's what bees go to. You're allergic to grass and those kinds of things, and the things that the bees don't really deal with so much. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So that was the explanation that I got. The thing, if you really want to stop the Flonase, there's some pretty good data on Flonase that it's reasonable long term. And by the way, when I got COVID, I was using Flonase and I never lost my sense of taste or smell.
Oh, nice.
And I did some research afterward, and there's actually some data out there that says that using Flonase at the onset of COVID-19 may help to prevent loss of smell and taste.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's just
Is that
throwing
because
that out there.
Is that because if it's like a steroid, right?
It's an anti-inflammatory.
It's kind of just closing everything up and tightening it up. Because I know that if I don't, this is what's alarming, is that if I don't take it for a couple of days, I really get congested, like even more so than beforehand.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if like taking it for a really long time is okay. But from what you're saying, it doesn't sound like it's horrible for you to continue taking it.
You get rebound nasal congestion when you use things like Afrin that actually constricts the blood vessels, and then when they relax, it relaxes more than it was before, and then you get that sort of rebound congestion. You probably have perennial rhinitis, which means that you just have nasal congestion all the time. And one thing I'm going to recommend to you, it's the best $89 you'll ever spend, is a thing called a Navage. And the Navage is like a neti pot, except you don't look stupid using it. And it shoots saline in one nostril and sucks it out the other one with a vacuum.
Wow.
And then everything collects in the bottom. And doing that once a day may take care of a lot of your symptoms.
Well,
just
I'm
getting
gonna
all
try
those
that.
antigens out of there.
I'm definitely going to try that.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Wheezy just fixed Wheezy and his problems. Let's see if this guy has any problems. T-Bob Love.
T-Bob Love.
How's
You're on with
everybody
Dr.
doing today?
Steve.
Hello, my friend.
Lisa knows I love her to death. I just want to give her a big, huge hug right now. I tell you.
Thank you.
Obviously,
Who doesn't?
doctor, you've never ever heard of this stuff called bee pollen, 1,000 milligrams per tablet. I take 4 of these at a time. It clears my nose up. It takes 45 minutes to really, you can start feeling everything drain. But the Afrin and all that other crap that these guys are taking does the exact opposite to fix the problem. This not only does the opposite and helps you drain, but it also boosts your immunity system hundreds of thousands of times. I took this for 3.5 years. I used to be so allergic to cats. Oh God, I had the worst allergies, but now I could pet a cat, kiss a cat, and live with a cat.
Yeah. Well, that it works for you is awesome, and it may work for other people. How would we know that? So one way that we would design, how do we know things? we know things by doing studies that make sense. So I would love to see somebody fund a study where they give 1,000 people bee pollen and 1,000 people a placebo, and then you track them over time, and then at the end of it, and then nobody knows, the people don't know, and the investigator doesn't know.
I do know that they've never made this into a pharmaceutical because, like you said, there's never been any research on it, and it's down on the list.
But that would, right. And nobody's going to make billions off of it, so they're probably not funding the research. But that would be how you would do that. And at the end of it, you look and see if there's a statistically significant difference in the bee pollen versus the placebo. And if there is, and you have to define your endpoints really well. How do you determine that there's a difference? Well, okay, less nasal congestion. You could have a scale from 1 to 10. There's some things like that that you could do. It's interesting because Viagra was discovered that way. They were looking for an antihypertensive, and their endpoint wasn't giant meaty erections. It was lower blood pressure.
Copy this so they could make money.
Yeah, and they but so they had to do a separate study to do the erection thing to prove it. They couldn't use the original hypertension data because erections, big giant meaty ballpark frank in the microwave erections, were a side effect. So they had to go back and do that second test to
I
define
advise every guy to use that stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look here. But look here.
I'm looking up bee pollen right now.
Unique issue. I have one of the 2 blood clots that come from the Black Plague era. Are you aware of those?
I am aware of. Did you have plague yourself? I mean, it's still, people don't realize that's a real thing.
You're aware that, if you're aware of it, that the unborn babies in the wombs of the pregnant women during that time, of the survivors, were born with 2 advanced genes. Someday it's a dominant gene. So someday everybody will have the 2 genes, and there won't be any need for aspirin or anything. I've been diagnosed. I have the A+ version and not the other one. But I cannot catch any virus whatsoever. It also causes my body to heal 8 to 16 times faster than a normal person. And that causes me massive blood clot issues because I don't have the regulatory gene.
I see.
What's the best alternative for aspirin?
To aspirin, you mean?
Yeah, good question, Bob.
Is that what he was asking? What's the best
so.
alternative to aspirin? If you have a propensity to clot that's above normal, you need to see if it's causing cardiac problems, see a cardiologist. Otherwise, see a hematologist, and they can deal with that. It's there's not any advice I can give you. Matter of fact, I don't give advice on my show. I talk about.
You don't?
Well, I can't give advice because then I become their medical professional. So I can talk about things in general terms, and then people, make their own determination and then talk to their own primary care provider. But I would see a hematologist for that if you are a person that has problems with blood clots. And I'm looking at, by the way, PubMed. I'm going to throw this out to everyone. PubMed.gov is a website that has all of medical knowledge on it, is in the medical literature. And there are lots of studies that are being done on bee pollen and airborne pollen allergens and that kind of stuff. And, so if he comes back, I'll throw some of these results at him. But anyway, I see my friend Cardiff Electric over there looking very dapper.
Please hold. Yes, Cardiff Electric has been saying a lot of interesting things. He's so quiet when he comes on the show, but he says a lot of interesting things in the private chat. So do you want to share any of that with Dr. Steve here?
That wasn't me, but I do have something to say. Elisa, you and me met Dr. Steve the exact same way.
Really? How?
I posted pictures of my feet on Twitter, and he immediately responded with a DM. Very creepy.
What a jokester. Okay, I have a caller.
Okay, T-Bob Love is calling me a fool in the chat room. That's okay.
Oh, he is? Oh, that's the private chat. Okay, just 1 second, Dr. Steve. Okay, I have a caller. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hi, Lisa. It's Dave.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, I'm right. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well. We have Dr. Steve, Aunt Carol, and all our friends here. We're doing great.
I had a question for the doctor, if that's all right.
Perfect. Yes.
Just because he was talking about, and people ringing in and talking about noses and stuff, I was born with no sense of smell or taste.
Wow.
And I've been to see doctors and consultants in the UK in the rhinology department, and they don't really seem to care because I've never had a sense of smell or taste.
Whoa.
It doesn't matter to them. Whereas if it had stopped, it could have been a sign of like a brain tumor if there had been an abrupt ending in those senses if I'd had them to begin with. But because I haven't, they didn't really seem to care. But I just wondered if, like American medical science, maybe they might be a little more attuned to figuring out what the problem is and if I might be able to rectify it.
Wow, I didn't know that about you. You've never had a sense of taste or smell, nothing? You can't taste
nothing. Like if I go out on a date and I'm in a restaurant, I might as well eat the menu. Like I can't taste anything at all. It's like nothing.
Wow. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, thanks for calling in with that question. I'm going to get the answer for you. Just tune in, okay, to YouTube. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, I didn't know that about him. So that's a really well-known musician from England named Dave Robinson. And
Sure,
I did not
heard him on your
know.
show last week.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I can't believe that. So what would you say to someone like that?
Well, he was born this way, so he has a thing called congenital anosmia, and that just means congenital just means you're born with it. Anosmia means you can't smell, and if you can't smell, you can't taste. And one of the problems with not being able to smell or taste is you can't tell if your food is rotten. I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons that we developed a sense of taste and smell as mammals, was to be able to tell if something was going to harm us or not. And so like a colorblind person, he's gotten used to it, but he's right. He might as well eat cheap food as expensive food, except for the ambiance is better.
Or healthy food.
Yeah, right. But it's a specific genetic disorder. It could be a thing called Kallman syndrome. But there's isolated congenital anosmia is considered sporadic in other words, it doesn't run in families. It just happens, and it's extremely rare. And the problem is, to my knowledge, there's no treatment for that.
There's no treatment for it. Wait,
it's a genetic problem.
Wait, who is this? Who is this?
I am Dr. Remulak.
Who?
I am Dr. Remulak.
Ooh, it's Dr. Remulak.
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand that. What's your question for Dr. Steve?
I am Dr. Remulak.
Oh, that's going to be it. All right. That's it? I think I had this guy.
I am Dr. Remulak.
I really don't like those colors, but okay.
That's a Howard Stern thing. It goes way back.
Sometimes I don't get the references.
Yeah.
Like I saw you had a Reddit, so I felt bad for you in this. You had a Reddit, and you said, "Ask me anything." That's so nice. That's so giving. And then all these jerks
no,
weird references to Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern. I was so annoying. Like I don't get a lot of the references, even though
it's funny. Yeah. What they would do is they would ask me a legit question, and then they would go back and change the question after I answered it, so it looked like I was being an asshole to people and stuff. It was really funny.
But doesn't that annoy you that you're just trying to do a nice thing? Oh, it doesn't really?
No, it's just
so easy going.
It's that the Opie and Anthony pests.
Yeah.
That was their sort of O&A army kind of thing. And they were hilarious. I mean, it was nothing more fun. And I mean, it's awful when they would do Jocktober on some radio show, and then they would end up shutting down their Facebook page. They had phase 1. Oh, now they've shut off comments, and phase 2, they're shutting down the Facebook page. And it was fun. And when Opie and Anthony went away, they didn't have a target anymore. And I always told Ope a long time ago that they're gonna, when you're not on the radio anymore, they're gonna come after you. I mean, your creation, this Frankenstein creation, will come after you. And they're just being funny for the most part. And some of it's pretty mean spirited, but some people don't know the difference between being mean and ball busting. But that's really all it is. And I had fun on that AMA. That was ages ago.
You liked it. Okay.
You notice I haven't done it since.
Yeah. I know why you didn't do it, but like the Opie and Anthony people, so you're the only target that they could go after now?
No. I'm just saying I understand the mindset.
Oh, you understand. So you call them pests.
That's what Opie and Anthony called them, pests. That was their
Oh, so I
fan
guess
base.
everybody has pests. So
It's kind of
speaking
like the Whack Pack.
yeah,
except
yes.
it was,
I have a
you know.
pest right now. Yeah, Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Yeah, my question's for Dr. Steve. Does he suffer with any medical problems or issues? I mean, obviously he's a little bit an older man like I am. Does he have any major health issues? And also, what does he think of Dr. Drew?
Oh, great question. I love that question. Thank you. Okay, yes.
Well, you know,
Those
if
are
I
good
shit on Dr. Drew, it's just going to sound like professional jealousy. So, Drew, when he did the show, Love Lines with Adam Carolla, that was
Yes.
when I think he was at his best.
Yes.
And I do have some issues with the recovery thing. When you make that public, it does serve a purpose that people can understand that there is this thing called recovery. I think it did bring recovery into the sort of common consciousness, but also there's a real fine line between exploitation and exposition, I think.
So do you feel
But
that those
I think Drew's
shows
great.
like Celebrity Rehab, I think Andy might have been on that. Wait, like Celebrity Rehab, do you think those shows, I mean, so I could see two ways. Like
Me too.
In one way, like when you expose something like a problem or anything and get it out there, people will come and support you. That's the good part.
Right.
See, I think that's the good part. So whenever I talk about like being depressed or bipolar or even COVID or anything like that, because I had COVID, people will come and they'll tell me, oh, do this, do that. You know, they'll be helpful. So that's the good thing. So I guess the bad thing is like he's profiting off of, you know, people's like illness and it could drive people to kill themselves because of embarrassment. And actually people say this to me all the time, like people blame me for like people being depressed because of this show, which I don't really understand. But I mean, there's two sides of it, but I can imagine if you're going through something, the worst thing in the world is to be alone. And when you go on TV and you have an audience, like, don't you find that having an audience makes you feel really not alone?
Yes. We started broadcasting live on Wednesday afternoons at 3:30, and I find that I have more energy, even if we've only got 10 people watching right then, because that's a bad time to try to get people to watch. And
what time is it? What
yeah,
time?
like 3:30 Eastern on Wednesdays. You know, it's just a YouTube thing, and I just put it out there and only the people that have signed up for notifications even get it. But just having a few people watching live is huge. Gives you a whole different energy.
Even if there's a couple people watching, you know those people are out there. They're hanging on every
You want to
word.
do it for them, yeah.
Yeah, you do it for them. So I could see both sides of it. I kind of understand. I mean, yeah. I think it would be helpful to be in front of an audience in that situation.
Yeah.
But he's profiting off it. I mean, should he do it for free?
No,
What do you think?
I don't think so. But I'm saying it's just a fine line between exploiting somebody and making exposition out of it. 'Cause there's no question that more people know about what goes on in recovery because of Celebrity Rehab. No question about that. And that is a good thing. But it's like everything else in this world. There's positive and negative to everything. And it's just the negative outweigh the positive. Now, as far as my health problems, I've just got a really effed up back, and I was going to have surgery, and then it just sort of got better. So I'm not having surgery on my back because I see all the failures, and all I know people that have the surgery I was going to have, and they're like, I would never do that again. You know, don't walk away from that surgery. But there's going to come a time when I'll have to do it. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'll tell you about some people I'm more upset at. I'm upset at like the podcast people that think they're doctors. Like you are a doctor.
Right.
But like, for instance,
allegedly.
There's people that are not doctors, like Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan like is followed by so many people that just think anything he says is truth. And he's giving out like a lot of advice about COVID. And I feel
Does he though?
Well,
I hear him asking a lot of questions.
So
saying,
according to,
I was going to show you my back X-ray if I could find.
Oh yeah, show me that. But I want to tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I read. I'm going to bring it up. in a second. Hold on one second.
Because the thing about Joe that did piss me off is when they characterized what he was doing as taking horse paste. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a horse. What is it? Horse tranquilizer? Or
No.
oh, is that your back?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It's not good.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the ivermectin is a drug that has been written in humans for ages, and it's very well tolerated. There are 72 studies being done right now on a great place to go if you want to know if something's being studied is a website called clinicaltrials.gov. And then you just put in COVID-19 ivermectin. There'll be 72 clinical trials that are going on right now. So somebody in the scientific community believes that this is worth investigating. Now, have we gotten data back yet that says that it's effective in COVID-19? Not really. There's some, but we haven't had that definitive test. So when you take somebody like Joe Rogan and say, well, he's taking horse paste, he must be crazy, you're really characterizing that in a way just to meet a certain narrative. And would I recommend it? I don't recommend that people take it, but I understand why he did. And I also understand what the media was doing when they just started making up stories about it being horse paste. Yeah, they use it in horses. It's just like, and we use it for parasites in humans, but lots of drugs have more than one activity. For example, aspirin, good to prevent heart attack and stroke, also good to treat rheumatoid arthritis, good to treat an ankle sprain. These are three completely different things. And, there are lots of other drugs that are like that as well. Duloxetine, aka Cymbalta, is a drug that we use for depression, but it's also great for fibromyalgia and neuropathy. So, lots of drugs have different uses. And, there's a drug that's off the shelf right now called fluvoxamine. And it's an antidepressant and it actually has really good data for preventing people from going to the hospital that have COVID-19 that's still in the mild phase. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think with this COVID, what's happened, and I'm sorry for monologuing, and I'll shut up in a second, is we've never seen the science evolve in front of our eyes like we have with this one. When they showed that picture of the black hole that they took, we didn't see the 20 years of science that went into finally getting that and all the missteps and all that stuff. We didn't see that. We just saw the picture of the black hole and it was awesome. But with this COVID thing, it's like the first time that reporters were embedded live with the troops. We'd never seen anything like that. And we've never seen science unfold before our eyes in the way that this has. And it's caused a lot of confusion. And, some of our leaders have not been, I think, probably had the best messaging. And it's just a lot of things. I just hate how a virus became politicized the way it is.
Yeah, I hate that too. I have a caller, Kermit and Friends. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Yeah, who's this?
Who's this?
Yeah, it's Derek the Idol Expert. Who's this?
Derek the what?
Yeah, you heard. Derek the Idol Expert. Who's this?
You're calling Kermit and Friends. How can I help you?
He's the Idol Expert.
Yeah, what's up? How are you? I'm Eric the Idol Expert from Reddit. The manager there?
All right. Do you have a question for the doctor?
Oh, no. But I want to speak to the manager.
I don't know who that is. It's some weirdo. Okay,
I don't know.
The article that I was referencing is this article in the Washington Post. Doctors call out Spotify for letting Joe Rogan spread false and societal harmful COVID-19 claims. Sorry, not COVID ID. So basically they're saying a coalition of hundreds of doctors and public health experts have called out Joe Rogan for spreading harmful assertions about the coronavirus and vaccination on the streaming platform because it's so popular. So more than almost 300 medical professionals are urging Spotify to stop him. So if it's his opinion, these things, I mean, how dangerous is someone's opinion? If people follow, I noticed when I was working on Howard Stern, anything he said, people would just follow that no matter what it was. If he hated someone, everyone would hate him, that person on Reddit. Everybody would hate that person on, Stern Fan Network. Everybody would hate that person if Howard said he hated them. And now, these views are not just like about hating someone or liking a TV show or not liking a TV show. It's like really important health information. So
Right.
if Joe Rogan has an opinion that could like put people's lives at risk and say, take this horse tranquilizer instead of getting vaccinated, or this is a scandemic, like some of the conservative news people are saying. I mean, I know a lot of conservative people, and they're pretty much like sheep, like just going in any direction that they're told. So is it dangerous? Is it dangerous to just let comedians and podcast hosts just say their opinion? Could that kill people?
Okay, so I think the sheep aspect, it's not just confined to the right. I see that on the left as well. And why should we have a right and a left when we're talking about a virus? That's the thing that kind of irritates me. Well, is very distressing to me. Listen, the thing about Joe is that if you listen to all 3 hours, which how do you do that? It's hard to do. A lot of people don't have time to do that. He will say, listen, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just a dumb guy asking a bunch of questions. And then what happens is that in this world, we get sound bites and we get clips, and the clip is put up, and that's where the problem is. And is that Joe's fault? I don't know. I mean, he has opinions. He asks a lot of questions. He has experts on, he asks them questions. And I have a lot of respect for him as a broadcaster, not so much as a scientist, but he'll be the first one to tell you that he's not.
Yeah.
So I think it's clip culture.
I haven't seen it as much other places, I guess, just because that's the biggest podcast.
Yeah.
But, I guess it's just because everybody has an opinion on this, and usually it's a strong opinion. So if most doctors, does it feel like most doctors believe in the vaccination?
Yeah.
It does. Okay.
Yeah,
And okay.
So medical professionals that are providers are around 90+% vaccinated. And
Right.
When I had people telling me it was just a cold, I would tell them, please come with me to the hospital if they'll let you in, and I'll show you hallway after hallway after hallway. This one used to be OB. This one used to be surgery. These are all filled with COVID patients, and there's ventilators in some of these rooms that have never had a ventilator in them before. And so that part of it was absolutely real, that the overwhelming of the medical complex was a real issue. Yeah. If you only have 1% of people ending up dying from something, and it's less than that, but let's just say it was 1%, but you have hundreds of millions of cases, that's still a lot of people.
Right.
And then,
is it true that 99% of people that are on ventilators are unvaccinated?
In my experience, everyone that we have on the ventilator right now, with maybe one exception, has not been vaccinated.
Okay, we have a caller. Andy, you're on the line. Andy, Kermit and Friends.
Yeah, hi. Yeah,
hi.
This is Andy.
Hey, Andy. You're on with Dr. Steve.
Yeah, I just want to say that Joe Rogan is doing amazingly important work, and he's having people like Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone having deep, extensive, really thoughtful, serious questions being asked. And Peter McCullough or Dr. Robert Malone would absolutely destroy anyone from the CDC and the FDA regarding any issue on COVID. They're far more knowledgeable. Look up Dr. Peter McCullough. He's one of the most published cardiologists in the world. You won't find a mainstream doctor with more credible, serious credentials than him. And the issues that he's raising, everyone needs to hear, because the real sheep are the people who follow along Dr. Fauci and the FDA and the CDC, and they have no idea what are the real issues. And I'd like to also recommend Steve Kirsch's newsletter. Steve Kirsch offered $2 million. He's a venture capitalist. You can look him up. He has an amazing newsletter. He offered Dr. Fauci $2 million to debate anyone on his team regarding the dangers of the vaccines, the misinformation from the CDC regarding people who have died with COVID or from COVID, and he has not been taken up on that. Any of these people, Robert F. Kennedy, read his book, The Real Anthony Fauci. They would slaughter Fauci in a debate. It would be over in the first round because they're far more knowledgeable. They're far more scientific. They're using facts. They're using hard data.
So Andy, let me just ask you a question.
They need to be recognized. So thank God for Joe Rogan.
Okay, thank God for Joe Rogan, but can I just ask you a question? The 99% of people that are on ventilators that aren't vaccinated, what would you say to that?
It's absolutely false. There was just a study published from
It's
England
not.
over the
That
last
part's not. I have to disagree with him
that
about
said
that.
the majority of people who are hospitalized now and the majority of people
Multiple
who are
comorbidities.
dying, I think it's 80%. There's a study out of England, 80% are vaccinated. People are not getting the information they need. The truth is right now, the majority of cases are vaccinated people, right? People who
on the ventilators, you're saying?
No. The majority of cases, I agree with that.
You won't have to wear a mask. If you get vaccinated, you won't catch the disease. Absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it's not true.
Absolutely wrong.
Well,
He's
we know
right.
that's wrong. We know that's wrong. But the ventilator in the hospital people, the people that are dying, they seem to be unvaxxed, Andy. You don't think
Yeah,
that's
here's
true?
86% of people in the hospital unvaccinated, 96% in the ICU unvaccinated, 100% on ventilators unvaccinated. That was at Duke on December 15th. So
Okay, so Duke, you think they're just saying that? Why do you think they're saying it? Like Duke University?
I can show you the studies now that currently at this time that the vaccinated people are having they're the majority of people in the hospital. And let me ask you one other thing.
yeah, I mean, I agree with Andy up until that point.
There was a major study out of Israel regarding people who have natural immunity.
Yes.
To COVID, people have had COVID and have natural immunity,
Or even
versus
haven't
those
had
who
it.
are vaccine. And depending on the category, whether it's hospitalization, infection, or death, people who had the vaccine, people who had natural immunity were 7 to 20 times more protected than those with the vaccine. And has the government ever come out and said, has the government ever come out and said that the people with natural immunity are far better protected? And why isn't that recognized in public policy that if somebody has actually had the vaccine, actually had COVID and recovered, they're far better protected. But we don't see any of that being recognized by the FDA, by the CDC, by the NIH, and of course by the little mindless little creep, Dr. Fauci.
All right, Andy,
Yeah.
these are really good points. I'm so glad you called in. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elisa.
Thank you. Great
and there's-
caller.
there's-
Great caller. That's a good caller, I want to say.
Yep, agreed.
And that guy, I talk to him every day about this. So, Steve, what's your
Well,
reaction?
So I agreed with him about Joe and doing nuanced, in-depth discussions with these physicians and scientists and stuff. But as I said before, the problem is that nobody's hearing that. They're hearing the clips that people cherry pick out of there, and it
Yeah,
depends
but
on.
that's everything. That would be this.
Totally
I had-
agree.
that's anything. Just know if you go on any program, if you talk, if you tweet, anything, it could be, destroyed at any moment. So just really watch what you say. I mean,
Yep.
I've had people clip apart things I said. I like a complete idiot in most of them, but just know that. And so, so nobody's going to listen to 3 hours of anything. They're going to just look for the thing that's the most interesting. And it is interesting when people are arguing with statistics.
Sure.
I
Well, when
find
it comes, 2 points on that. And then can we get back to talking about dicks and nuts again? Jesus
Yes.
Christ, this fucking COVID. But a couple of things on natural immunity that Andy brought up. I had on my show at the very beginning of the pandemic, one of the doctors, and he was a passenger on the Diamond Princess. If you remember, that was a cruise ship off the coast of Japan that was caught up in the early days of the pandemic, and they quarantined everybody on that ship. And he was 72 years old, and he was cooped up in a 14 by 14 cabin with his wife who had COVID, and he never got it. So even back then we were talking about natural immunity, and that's a different kind of natural immunity. He never had COVID-19, but he apparently was unable to get it. Because they were testing them like crazy, and he never turned positive. So natural immunity, I still think, is the best immunity you can have. And the CDC is still recommending people get vaccinated if they've had COVID. I'm still researching that data, and I don't have a whole lot to say on that at this point, until I can see some hard data, other than to say that the CDC recommends it. You take it for what you will. And I can't remember what my other point was. So
Well, I like the way you handle this. It seems like you see both sides. It's been tough for me. I never want to talk about COVID again, honestly, but it's all over the news. I mean, Howard Stern is trending, talking about that tennis player who now is in trouble for, not getting vaccinated. It's just an annoying conversation. I would think out of any medical conversation, it's the most annoying possible.
If someone wants to do their own research on the numbers, a really great website is, and I'll put it in the chat if you want to put it up. It's covid.stoutlabs.com.
Right, so somebody put that in there. covid.stoutlabs.com.
I put it in the chat.
Yeah, so that way I don't have to have any more arguments with people about it. But Listen, we like people from all sides here. We're going to be talking about Steve on our wrap-up show. We have a wrap-up show, Steve. I know that's hard to believe.
That's awesome.
But we do. Steve, if people want to contact you or be friends with you or talk to you about COVID-19, I'll tell them not to, but if they want to talk to you about something, how do they reach you?
Yeah, just anywhere where you get podcasts. We're also on SiriusXM on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays, I think, at 5 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM channel 103. And it is funny, we're the longest running show on the Opie and Anthony channel, and Opie and Anthony aren't even there anymore. So
what a success. You were able to keep your show. What do you mean? How is it not
I just kept my head down.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody over there owes me favors, and I know shit about everybody, so I think they're just like, we better sign Steve for another year.
So what is Opie? Are you still talking to Opie? Are you still friends with him? You are?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm friends with all of them.
Is he upset that you're on the radio and he's not?
Oh no, he's doing his own thing. I firmly believe that he loves what he's doing right now.
What is he doing? What is he doing now? Oh, he's dicking around?
He's a dicking around. Yeah.
That does.
Yeah, he has a Facebook Live group, and he does. He sits out there waiting for the street sweeper to come, and that's just what he wants to do. Let him do what he wants to do. Let him do what he wants to do.
Do you think he made enough money from radio for all those years to just chill?
He said way before they got let go that he had FU money, and I believed him then, and I believe him now because he's not making very much off of that, and he's still doing okay. So.
Really? What a life. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds
if you can
terrific.
retire early, do it, and then just dick around. I mean, that's, and Anthony's doing his thing, and I try to, if mommy and daddy split up, you got to try to stay friendly with,
so you're
have
friendly
a
with
relationship with both of them.
everybody.
Yeah, try
I
to.
guess you're just that kind of guy, I guess. That's awesome. Wow, what a great person. That you're very blessed. That's the thing. You're blessed because you're a good person. And I believe that when you're good to people, look at that situation you have. I mean, people would kill to get in that situation. That's a wonderful. And so you're just like, so you work as a doctor during the week, and then it's Saturday that you do your show?
Yeah. Well, we pre-record everything. So I do my Patreon. Check out patreon.com/weirdmedicine. I do that with my wife, and she loves to give me hell, and she holds my feet to the fire, and that's a fun show. It's a little bit more loosey, goosey and silly show, although we still do medical questions on there. And then the SiriusXM show is a little bit more structured, I guess, is probably the best word.
And do you do the SiriusXM show from home?
I do. Yep.
Oh, okay. That's why you have
Yep.
such a great setup. Just real quick, are you familiar with Jody Pluchet? Does that ring a bell? He's a writer. He had a famous he has a famous book out.
With his father. Yeah.
Yes.
It's called Why Gary, Why or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I've talked to him.
So he's like obsessed with Jim Norton.
Oh.
So do you have any good Jim Norton
Hey,
stories?
Jody. Yeah, Jody and I have corresponded before.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Do I have any good Jim Norton stories? I don't think I've got any that I could say.
Is that a good friend to you? Is Jim Norton a nice guy?
Yeah. No, he's the nicest guy in the world.
Really? All these
Yeah.
people are nice, huh? All
No,
these
he
radio
is
people?
the nicest guy in the world. There's no question about that. And I'm friends with a lot of those guys. Robert Kelly's a friend of mine, and Joe DeRosa and I had this dust up on Opie and Anthony, and he's ended up being one of the people he doesn't just call me for medical stuff. Sometimes we just talk about bullshit. And so he's become a real friend, but you would never know it. If you ever want to see somebody turn the room around, look up on YouTube, Dr. Steve versus Joe DeRosa. It's kind of fun.
Oh, that sounds great. That's right
It's
up my
kinda
alley. I'm writing that down. I hope everybody else is too, to watch later. So we're going to go to drsteve.com. We're going to go to your YouTube channel. We're going to follow you on Twitter. Do you have a Discord server?
I do not. I didn't know what Discord was until WATP forced me to download it so that I could actually be on their show. So
Yeah, you need to be on there because it's a great way. So, we do the show Kermit and Friends once a week, but people want to talk about what goes on here all week. And it's a great way to connect people. I've had people date on there, date each other.
Really?
I've had people meet up, like the fans like meet up with each. It's wonderful. It's just a really good community aspect. And I think it'll bring more people to your YouTube channel because it is hard to like bridge people from different platforms to other platforms. And I know you have a YouTube channel. Wait, what is that YouTube channel again?
I don't even know.
You don't know.
I think it's YouTube something.
Okay, all right. We'll find it. Okay, we'll build. Oh, we're having an offer that Tony will build Dr. Steve a Discord server if you want.
Tony.
One. Yeah, if and it only takes a half an hour.
Okay.
Dr. Steve, did you have fun on Kermit and Friends today?
I had a blast. Thank you. Yes, I had a wonderful time. It was great meeting you.
So nice to meet you.
T-Bob and Wheezy and Wappy Flanker, and it was good seeing my buddy Cardiff on here. So thank you.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Charmin, of course.
Yeah,
So
everybody.
delightful.
Everybody loved you. Thank you so much
Aunt
for
Carol,
coming.
I can't. Don't let me not say Aunt Carol or Andy.
Yeah, they love you. Trust me. You're very loved
I love
here.
them.
I've never seen a guest more loved than you, actually.
That'll change. Just keep saying that. That'll change.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Anyway, thank you so much, Steve. Really
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, what a great guy. Oh my God, what a hunk, right, Aunt Carol?
Listen, I'm still wet from when he was talking about those big beefy erections. Oh my God, it was so hot, so sexy. He's such a hunk. But listen, I gotta say, Dr. Fauci, I think kind of gonna agree with what he's saying, but he also is a hunk too. He kind of reminds me of Dr. Fauci just in the looks department. I'm not talking about anything else, okay?
Wait, Dr. Fauci? You like Dr. Steve and Dr. Fauci? Both of
Oh
them?
my God, Dr. Fauci's Italian with that voice, and he talks. Oh my God, he's probably got a big salami in his pants. Oh my God, it's Aunt Carol's type. It's very much Aunt Carol's type. I don't get into politics, but those two, they could bang me in a train. Let me tell you.
Aunt Carol, I'm starting to think you haven't had sex in a while. I just get that feeling.
I do have sex. I do have one of those carjack things that they were talking about. You're supposed to protect yourself, but I use it for other things because it's pretty handy. It's a big machine. You use it down there and it keeps people away and it satisfies you. So, I do get action here and there, but I spread it around. I like to spread around the love. I'm not very picky, as you can tell. I see some of the people commenting that T-Boz, he wants to do something with my butthole. I'm all for it. Just bring it on.
Really?
That's
You're
what
the
I'm saying.
only one that ever agreed to that. Bob, did you hear that? Aunt Carol, she's down for whatever.
Yeah. That's cool. You need to get on the Discord for KF, and then I'll send you the invite to my Discord, and we could do it on either one of the Discords, really.
Oh my God, I would love to do it on Discord.
Yeah, you just send everybody the butt cheeks, and everybody gets to comment on your, your beautiful butt hole, and I'll do the same thing, and then we just,
Oh
It's
my
like
God,
that.
Bob! I'd love to see your butthole. This is great. This
Well,
is
I
such
got
a
a
good
virgin
release.
butthole. I'm a straight guy, and you're obviously not. But people, they like that kind of thing. I got some drunken peasants want to challenge me after the show, so we'll see if that goes through or not. They usually cower out.
Oh, listen, and Carol, she's straight. Well, I do go for some of the, I did have that experience with some women, but I go, and Carol's pansexual. She does it all. She goes top, bottom, left, right, up, down, everywhere. So
Wow.
I'm excited.
You're talented. Let me ask you this question. Are you talented enough that you could pick up one of these with no hands? Or are you talented enough you can pick up one of these with no hand?
Oh, well, let me tell you right now, I got my wine glass. You probably can't see it. I'm putting it right down there, but it's holding it up very, very nicely. It's going.
Wow.
Okay, I don't want to get this girl banned off of YouTube, but I got my wine glass down there. Let's just say it's doing things, okay?
You are talented. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
guy could get on stage and make some money, honey.
Not Guy, not
Alicia.
Guy. It's Aunt Carol, not Guy, not Guy. Okay,
I just
so
want to say you're still beautiful. I still love you to death, and you're one of the best people I ever met. I don't care what anybody says.
thank you, Bob. You too. You're wonderful. I'm so happy you're here. I love you so much. And there's going to be a wrap-up show after this show. Johnny B.
Oh, well, I had something I wanted to talk to Dr. Steve, but
What was it?
Well, several years ago, I had a procedure done that caused some malformation in my testicles, and I didn't know if I could show the picture because it is kind of graphic, but it is for a medical purpose. And Dr. Steve is not here for me to ask if I should worry about it at my age now. Is something I should have my doctor be like looking at. I'll be 62 in March, and this was 20 something years ago, and I still have some malformations from it, shall we say. It's hard to explain it all without showing you what it looked like before, and then of course I don't have current pictures. But
Okay, so the beauty of Kermit and Friends is now Dr. Steve is a friend of ours. So just reach out to him. You could say you're from Kermit and Friends, and you could send him that picture, and he's going to help you. Okay?
I didn't know if we could show it on here, anyways. But
Is it
it's
a
not,
penis?
huh?
Is it a penis?
Well, because of what happened to me, I had I had a heart catheter done, and you have a hematoma sometimes after where some kind of blood runs out. Well, it happened to settle in the twins. I ended up with gonads the size of a cantaloupe. And the pictures, some people have seen the pictures. I was going to try to send it to Leaf. He could forward it on to you, but he's got his thing set, so I can't send that kind of a picture because the bot catches it. It may be explicit. Some of the people have seen it in the Discord servers in Leoland and a couple other places have seen the image that I've shared. It still causes me some issues today, which makes it hard to urinate and things like this from time to time. It's hard to explain it all. I'd have to show you the picture.
Oh, can you send it to Aunt Carol? I'll look at it. I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'd love to see it.
Carol, sometime you'll have to get with my alter is Joni. You might see me on once in a while, and we'll have to talk.
Okay, I would love to meet her, and I'd love to
have
see
the girls get together, so to speak.
Yeah, just slide it into my DMs. They're open. They're always open.
But I didn't know if he would. Again, you'd have to catch it on the Discord stuff.
Yeah. We're gonna look up your balls as soon as possible. So Aunt Carol, if anybody has pictures of their balls,
slide them right into my DMs.
Or like
right,
any penises or any hernia of any kind, like where should they send that?
Send it to, well, you can get my nephew Adam Barta. He has the World of Adam Barta. Check him out on the YouTube, and then he's on the Instagram too. Aunt Carol's going to start her own social media. But listen, I don't want to see anything that's disgusting. If it's leaking pus, get that thing out of here. I don't want it. It's going in the garbage. Just send me the pictures.
It's all going to be very disgusting. Are you sure that you
No. Listen, I want Aunt Carol. I don't mind a little hernia. I don't mind a little bump. But if you show me something with stuff coming out of it that's not supposed to be coming out of it, I'm not going to be a happy woman. So be careful. You can send me some stuff. Just use discretion. Is that what the word they say? Use the discretion when you send me the pictures.
Okay. Before anybody sends anything, please use discretion because Aunt Carol doesn't want to see any pus.
No.
She just wants to see balls. So when you send your balls, make sure there's no pus.
Yeah, no pus and no anything, no other stuff too, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that sounds really good. And my DMs are always open for anyone, especially men that are Italian between the ages of 45 and 70.
And that's in the world of AdamBarta.com, your nephew, right?
That's my admin, my nephew. Yeah, he does YouTube. I was on there with the screen parody. They just put me in a movie. I'm doing all this stuff, so I'm blowing
What was
up.
that tea thing that you were on? What was that tea? I saw you were on the tea. What is that?
Oh, they're doing some TV show in LA that they're filming. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. I'm not even supposed to say that. I'm going to get in trouble. But in Carol's going to be, it's going on Amazon Prime. It's going to be the tea. It's going to be a big comedy show. And Carol's part of it. And Carol's going places. Let me tell you, I'm so thankful to do this gig because I'm blowing up.
You're blowing up. I knew it the second I saw you that you were blowing up. Everybody check out Carol's nephew, Adam Barta, right?
Yeah.
And so your nephew will handle all your emails and all your tweets and like everything. And so if you want to put Aunt Carol in a movie, that's how you do it. On the wrap-up show today, we have a lot going on. I'm going to get to the wrap-up show co-hosts. But first, let's listen to Wappy Flanker.
All right, here we go. Come be the light in the darkest place. I'm shining in outer space. Up above, you see me, yeah, I'm a star to say. Living the dream, yeah, no time to conversate. I speak with the songs I play. Starlight come, just like the sun. Number one, I'm screaming just because. Spitfire tongue, just like a loaded gun. I'm having fun, I'll do it. I'm having fun, I'll do it. Just like a loaded gun, can't wait to use it. The way her body's moving to the music, she'll do it. Just flowing. Starlight come, just like the sun. Number one, I'm screaming just because. Spitfire tongue, just like a loaded gun. I'm having fun, I'll do it. Come be the light in the darkest place. I'm shining in outer space. Up above, you see me, yeah, I'm a star to say. Living the dream, yeah, no time to conversate. I speak with the songs I play. Starlight come, just like the sun. Number one, I'm screaming just because. Spitfire tongue, just like a loaded gun. I'm having fun, I'll do it. Starlight come, just like the sun. Number one, I'm screaming just because. Spitfire tongue, just like a loaded gun. I'm having fun, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, so after this show, all right, so say you're on my YouTube channel right now. You should see, hopefully you're on the right YouTube channel. I doubt you are, but if you are, and it's KermitandFriends.com, my Elisa Jordana YouTube channel, there should be a Discord server. You could click on that. And then once you click on that, there's a whole other world of Kermit and Friends where you could see the wrap-up show, you could see other shows. All the affiliated people here have their own shows, and it's really great. So it doesn't just end here. Like, this is just a small part of Kermit and Friends. Kermit and Friends branches out. You have no idea because you're not in our Discord server. There are over 300 people in there, which is pretty cool, but we can have more. And that means more shows, more promoting other people, more people reaching out to Dr. Steve, more puppets, and more fun. Right, Wheezy?
Oh, yes. I mean, more puppets, more fun, more Dr. Steve. I loved him very much. And I think that he brought together Kermitarians that have never even been together before. He has a magical power. So I would love to have him part of it. And you're right. Everybody should go to our Discord. That's where a lot of the magic happens.
Yeah, because like this is just like a 2-hour show and there's only so much we could do here. So it's nice to have people also, being creative. Like, Wheezy, you're super creative, and Charmin and, Wappy and Bob. Everybody is creative here and wants to make more friends. So for instance, everybody should be reaching out to Dr. Steve and making sure he had fun. I hope he had fun. He seemed like he did.
Yeah, he had a good time. I could tell.
Yeah, I wanted him to feel like, a good feeling about being on Kermit and Friends. And I think he did. And so, we want people to exactly. My goal is to have 1,000 KAF related shows and Discords where everybody's making friends, everybody's having fun, just have a fun life. Even Dr. Steve, I was shocked about this when he said when he was a doctor, I think he said this, when he was a doctor, he still wanted like more. That wasn't enough. He wanted more connection with people. So he wanted an AOL, like instant message.
Yeah. I thought he's very unique because he was so honest, and he was talking about like, how he can deal with the people that we all think are just trolls. And he's like, they're funny. They actually have some benefit to them. And I'm like, wow, to hear a professional say that, it's so refreshing to me.
I know,
like,
but how could he do that? How could he be in those like I can't believe where and he's a huge fan of like Cardiff Electric, this guy. And I mean, that is really something. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, Cardiff Electric, wasn't that, a guy with a Sirius XM show for 12 years, the show outlasted Opie and Anthony, is a fan of yours. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Me and Dr. Steve are very good friends on the internet. We've talked I just spoke to him. He said he had a very fun time, so good job. Good thing that brain guy was on his best behavior, because he scared me off the last time. I didn't want to do that to Dr. Steve.
No, I didn't want it to do. Actually, Brain really should be Kermitarian of the Week for showing his hernia. That was so awesome. And I appreciated that. And I texted him this morning. I said, Brain, can you please show your hernia for Dr. Steve? He didn't text me back, but then he did it. So, that's what this is all about. Cardiff Electric, are you going to be on the wrap-up show with the others?
I have not been invited yet, so I don't know.
Are you in the Discord server?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're in a Discord server, Wheezy will be posting his StreamYard link, so that way you could jump on with the others, like Charmin and everybody else. Charmin. So Charmin, Cardiff Electric, he's one of us now.
Yep, he's one of us now. I was really excited to see him today, but I want to tell him to tuck his thing into his sweatshirt. Tuck your skin suit into your sweatshirt. We can see it.
Yeah, he's not the most fashionable guy, but look, this radio veteran is a huge fan of his. Come on. Charmin, things have shocked me in my life, but it's just
Cardiff is one of my favorites this week. And what a great episode. You really brought it home this week, right? We got Cardiff back. We got this fabulous new Dr. Steve. We learned the key to big, beefy erections without surgeries. There's just a lot of stuff going on here. This was a really good episode. Brain was on his best behavior. Who knows what's possible for the rest of the week?
What'd you think of Brain's hernia?
I think if it's been there for 20 years, he should get it fixed.
Yeah, I just had Botox yesterday and I was scared, but I did it anyway. You just go in.
Like my doctor's appointments, I was so nervous to start seeing my doctor again this year because I had to jump through flaming hoops to get a specialist. And then I expected surgery and it wasn't an option. And physical therapy has been the best thing ever. Somebody should have done this for me a decade ago for sure. Fix your issues.
I can't believe they put a balloon down there.
Like, they do all kinds of things. It is incredibly invasive. They can computer and hose and test you for just about everything.
Is it a colorful balloon, like a red balloon?
Well, I didn't see it. They just, they do it all inside. There's screens and graphs and charts, and you can see different areas based on where they blow the balloon up. It's very technical. There's a lot going on down there, and most of us don't have a clue about it.
Oh, I'm so happy. My colleague just texted me and said he had fun calling in. So this is great. This is great. Everybody had fun. All right, so we should just end it here.
Best week ever.
Yeah, before anything weird happens, we should just end it here.
Weird?
So on the wrap-up show, you'll obviously discuss Dr. Steve, Cardiff Electric, Brain's hernia, all the health issues. What else do you think we should talk about?
There's so much going on here. I just think that, there's no telling what will come up in the wrap-up show. I think it's been a very busy week here, and we all need a little gossip catch up. A little gossip catch up out of Discord would be completely appropriate for the wrap-up show.
I wonder if Bob will join. Bob, are you going to join Charmin and the rest of them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. Okay, no matter who else is there, even if someone you don't like is there, you'll go in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think they have a great chemistry, and I think most of all that nonsense has been put to rest, except for you always got a few old idiots like who. And
those people, Bob, they can't touch us.
No, I was talking about the other guy.
Who?
The other guy. His name starts with a C.
C?
C-O-R.
Corey?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to mention his name, but yeah, he's an idiot. But yeah, I don't worry about those guys. So if they want to be on there with me, I don't care.
Corey, come on.
Weezy learned how to handle his live streaming a lot better than when he first started.
Listen, nobody could touch us, Bob, because we come from a place of joy, and that's just how it is. So,
Exactly.
So Weezy is going to host our wrap-up show, and you're going to be on with Charmin and Cardiff Electric and everybody else.
Yes.
You guys can reach out to Dr. Steve if you want. It's up to you.
Yes.
Anybody that's on Kermit and Friends, you can always reach out to Aunt Carol, whoever you want, because, you know, the people that are friends here are obviously friends of the wrap-up show too.
Very close.
Weezy, where is this wrap-up show?
It'll be on the Kermit and Friends YouTube page, but I'm going to link it in Discord immediately. But
Okay.
we're going to focus on Johnny's balls because I hope his balls
yeah.
get better.
I forgot about that.
And then Andy Dick. I mean, just when he comes on your show, he's just fucking excellent. I love him so much.
Yeah,
he's
he's
so
good.
funny. He tells the best story. So we've got tons to talk about. I'm sure it'll be a long wrap up, but everybody's invited. Everybody's invited to come up.
Yeah, and I just appreciated, I appreciate you so much. Obviously,
Aw.
you're an incredible person, just every day,
Thank
24
you.
hours a day. Weezy was the one that brought, Aunt Carol. And so he had that idea and he does the wrap-up show. He even goes on these horrible people's shows sometimes. I mean, he picks the worst people and then he goes on their show. And I just can't, sometimes I'm walking home from work or I'm somewhere and I get an alert and I press on and Wheezy's there. And I say, oh my God, he's in a bad part of town right now where he should not be. But
You've warned me too. You've warned me
say,
many
why?
times.
Why go there? Why go on these bad shows? But he does it, I don't mind. I want you to have fun. As long as you're having fun,
I am.
everything's
I love
okay.
this community. You guys are awesome and you do a great job and I just love it. And sometimes I have to go into that area just to defend us, just because we have defending our honor. So that's how I feel.
And I couldn't think of a better person to do it. I mean, you do a terrific
Aw.
job, but those people are just so low IQ
I'll have to agree with you 100%.
that I don't even think they get what you're talking about. But thank you anyway. So everybody watch Wheezy. Obviously, he represents Kermit and Friends in the best way possible on the wrap-up show. You'll find that in our Discord server, which is pinned above if you're in the right place. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and we'll see you next week on Kermit and Friends.
She's sick and tired of these people. They've been treating her mean. They've been making her bleed. She's sick and tired of this world. It's been making her ill. Oh, for her I would kill. So cold. She's really got a feeling. She don't like this world. She's gonna jump off and go cold. She's really got a feeling. She don't like this world. She's gonna jump off and go. She's been waiting, watching from her window. She sees the faces in the distance. She doesn't miss them. She's been watching the world go by, and she don't care why.